Hi everyone, I'm Alexandra Duvine. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we're going to be discussing all of the questions that you may want to ask your wedding venue prior to booking them and popping your deposit down. If you like the video today, please give it a big thumbs up and hit subscribe. And if you turn on the bell, you'll also get the notifications for my upcoming videos. So let's start with the basics. So the first thing that you may want to ask a potential venue is all about their availability on dates. Some days and months are more popular than others, which means that you may need to book a little bit further in advance. If, for instance, you would like a Saturday wedding in summer, those dates are going to be booked up more quickly than, for instance, a Tuesday date in winter, for example. So it's definitely best to see if your venue has dates available that kind of match the criteria for what you would like for your wedding. Another thing to ask them is all about their size and how many guests they can accommodate, because you and your partner will probably have a rough idea of how many guests you would love to invite to the wedding, and it's great to know straight away if the venue can accommodate the number of guests. If you are wanting to get legally married at a ceremony at the venue as well as having the reception there, then you'll definitely need to ask if they are licensed to have civil ceremonies. If they are not licensed to have civil ceremonies, you will still be able to have a symbolic ceremony there at the venue, but you will need to get legally married at a civil ceremony prior to the wedding or a couple of days after. Of course, one of the most important questions to ask is all about pricing and payment. So, of course, you want to ask about pricing to make sure that the venue is within your budget. It may also be worth asking about deposits. Do you need to pop a deposit down to secure the date, and how much is it? And when is the final balance due? Another thing to ask is the VAT included in the prices that you are given? When it comes to asking your venue about pricing and packages, there is so much variation with how venues do things in the wedding industry. Some venues will give a full wedding package that literally includes everything. Absolutely everything is included in there with regards to the venue within that one cost, that quote that they give you. Other venues do absolutely everything separate. I mean literally everything. So you will pay for the venue hire, the food, drinks packages. Some venues charge for staff extra on top, for hire of cutlery, those different types of things that maybe you just would never have thought of. So it's definitely best when you're discussing pricing to really find out what exactly is being included and isn't included in the prices that they are giving you. It's definitely best to find out about the venue's cancellation policy as well. If COVID has taught us anything, is that expect the unexpected. COVID has caused so much just trauma and trouble in the wedding industry that I think it's now just crucial more than ever to find out what a venue's cancellation policy is. Most wedding venues do have public liability insurance. However, it's definitely best to ask the question because you want to make sure that absolutely everything is covered. Another important question that you may want to ask is, do you have to use the venue's recommended supplier list? Now, most venues will provide you with some recommended suppliers who they work with often and, they worked well together, but you need to know if you have to use them or if they are just suggestions, because again, venues differ massively. Some venues may not provide a list. Some venues may provide a list of recommended suppliers, but you don't have to use them. But some venues kind of give you this list of suppliers and you do have to use their suppliers. And this may not be exactly what you want from their suppliers. The suppliers that they use may not work within your budget. So that's definitely something to consider as well. Something that you may also want to know prior to booking is if there are any restrictions with the venue. So for instance, can you have fireworks at the venue if you wanted? Can you have confetti? Can you have candles, for instance, as some venues won't allow kind of open flames? There are all those different types of things to consider. Some venues may be 18 plus only. If you are quite a big foodie and the food is going to be really important to you for your wedding, you may want to ask your venue, do they do tasting evenings of their menu so you can sample the different options prior to picking a menu. And you may also want to ask them, do they cater for vegetarians, vegans, allergies, all those type of things, especially if you know that there are people coming who will require some kind of special dietary requirements. It's always good to know that they are going to be catered for. Other fees that you may want to ask your venue about are things like corkage fees for alcohol and cake cutting fees. So even if you are providing favors, which are, for instance, mini bottles of alcohol, like those kind of double shot bottles of alcohol, some venues may charge you to bring those because ultimately it's taking revenue away from the bar if you are not having an open bar package. So it's definitely worth asking about the corkage fees. Same with cake cutting. So if you bring your own cake and you're serving that as dessert, some venues may charge you for that as well. Some don't, but it's definitely best to double check that so you don't have any fees that kind of just spring on you out of absolutely nowhere. Another thing to ask is, what time do you have the venue until? How long can the party go on for? Some venues have really strict times as to when the evening has to end. So if you are wanting to party a little bit further into the evening and that's something that's important to you, then it's definitely worth checking with a venue what their kind of kicking out time is. You may also want to ask your venue, can they accommodate a live band or musician if you are wanting one, or a DJ? If the venue that you are potentially going to book does have on-site accommodation for guests, it's definitely worth asking if they offer a discount for guests if they were to book one of the rooms. Some venues will provide a discount code that you can use and give to your guests, so when they make the booking they can get a little bit of a saving. It might also be worth asking about parking. What is a parking situation like for your guests, for anyone who is planning on driving to and from your wedding? Another thing you may want to ask is who will be looking after you in the run-up to your wedding and on your wedding day itself. So who can you ask all the questions to in the run-up to the wedding? Who is going to be coordinating the wedding on the day? Some venues have wedding coordinators, some have in-house planners, some have venue managers. So it's definitely best to ask who exactly will be looking after you and what exactly their role will be in the run-up to the wedding and on the day itself. And that brings us to the end of the video today. I really hope that this was informative for you guys. If you have any more questions that you think that I maybe have missed, please pop them down in the comments below because I absolutely love receiving the feedback from you guys. If you did like the video today, please give it a big thumbs up and hit subscribe. And if you turn on the bell, you'll also get the notifications for my upcoming videos. I have a lot more exciting wedding content coming very soon, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye guys.